just blow your mind. Talking absolute DC and leaving everything else behind. Psycho! It's the Weird Science DC Comics Absolute DC Show. It's the Weird Science DC Comics Absolute DC Show. So let's go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Absolute DC Comics Podcast. I'm here with Gray. What up, Gray?
What up, Jim? Are you Genki?
No. Yeah, Brad this week, when you go to listen to the regular podcast, Brad mentions at the beginning that he needs a sign-in like you have. He's very impressed with your sign-in. I think he was trying to steal it. I think, but
Really?
It would be weird for him to say, "Are you Genki?"
Yeah.
I would be less Genki. I'm never Genki. But yeah, he's very impressed with your sign-in. I said that he should go yo, 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 wickety whack, but he didn't like that. So he needs your help. You're going to have to get a hold of him to come up with a sign-in. But here we are. And as I just mentioned, we do have a DC Comics podcast. There was somebody,
Do
and
we?
this isn't the first person. Well, do we? There's been a bunch of people who have asked because I do not put them up on YouTube anymore while I do put this. This one goes up automatically. When I put this on our feed. The problem with the regular DC show, it should go up on YouTube automatically. It does not because there's a limit of the time and whatever, and the show always goes over 3 hours. And I think that you have to be like under an hour and a half. That's never happened. So that's why it's not. I was putting, things together and putting it up, but it just seemed like it was a lot of effort for no real reason. I know that some people did like watching it on YouTube, but it's not like you're watching anything. So what I'm saying is it is on and has been and always will be on our podcast feed. So if you actually are listening to this on YouTube and wondering, oh my God, the DC show, because the Marvel one's small enough that goes up too, you can go and look at the feed and it's in the show notes of this show and all the shows that we do. It's just you'll have to listen to it on a podcast app instead of watching or listening on YouTube. It's not really much of a difference. So maybe some people will go over and check it out. But if you don't like that, that's fine.
Do it. Go and check it out. It's awesome.
Screw all of you.
I
That's
might be
what
biased.
say. Yeah, I was going to say, there's when people, when on the Sus Records side of things, people, I never know what to say. And there's a lot more comments there, right? So people be like, man, this song's a banger. And I don't know what to say, and I'll put, I agree. And I'm like, I sound like a jerk. Of course I agree.
Have you seen that, Jim, on YouTube now with the AI, the AI prompting replies? It's almost, you let the AI reply for you. It's crazy. It's kind of scary. Some of those are better than mine.
They say they do that, but yet don't like AI, but yet use AI for, it's weird. That's
weird.
what Apple and iTunes do as well. They're against AI songs, but they'll use AI for everything else, but that's fine. That is fine. But here we are. We're not on the Sus Records feed, are we? And
I don't
there's
think
not really
so.
a feed. I don't either. I was going to make a podcast at one point, but no, screw that. I'm too lazy. But here we are. We're going to get into this because, lo and behold, we'll get yelled at by people that say, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Why aren't you talking about the Flash?
You guys suck. You don't know anything.
This is going to be pretty quick. It is Absolute Flash. It is Absolute Flash number 9. Don't even do it, Gray. I don't need you John Lennoning me up. I ended up accidentally, I listened to the Beatles playlist, their full playlist when I go to sleep. And lo and behold, if you sleep about 7 to 8 hours, you'll get through almost the whole catalog. So the other day I woke up a little early and I don't know if it woke me up or I woke up right in the middle of Revolution 9 and I was like, it was nightmare. I hate that, but.
Do you dream? Is like you dream you're in Liverpool with the Liverpool accent?
Yes, yeah, I'm there and hey there, Liverpools. Is that the accent?
What I did, Jim? How's it going?
Hello, North. I'm Jim, the Liverpoolian.
That is not a Liverpool accent, I'll have you know.
That was more Manchester, I think is what you would say.
Shots fired. Jesus.
Yes, exactly. But here we are with The Flash. And
let's do it.
It is a book that we started out with, and we were positive about it because we like Jeff Lemire.
Yeah.
And we kept saying, listen, a lot isn't going on, but that's kind of the way he's doing it. And he's doing that at JSA, and it's going to pay off. And then we got to the breaking point. We said, don't we're not recommending it anymore. I still am not recommending it.
It
I
felt
would
like
not
nothing was
say,
really happening, didn't it? It felt like it was going so slow. It was weird.
man, I still think not much is happening, but
No.
at least here's the thing. This is where the 3 other books, and people will argue, and I just don't care anymore about that Martian Manhunter book, right? When that comes back, we'll see. But Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, and Flash here, those second 3. I'm at the point now that if they don't piss me off, I'm going to go with the benefit, because this is the only one of the 3 that doesn't piss me off, I think. And so when we get through it, I'm like, okay, we didn't get a lot, but I didn't get angry. So I'm like, I'll just keep reading it. As long as I'm not angry, I'll do it, but not much is happening. I mean, if you're in it for Wally being the Flash, you're not going to get much, but you do get the rogues. We did like the rogues.
That's
That
what
was
I like
one of the
about this
things that
issue,
picked
Jim.
up.
Yeah. More
You get-
rogues,
you
more
get
character
the
work.
rogues, and you do get that whole deal. Okay, Thawne, the villain, she has stepped up to be fully, pronounced, and even it says herself pretty much she's the villain. And they have at least something to do. The rogues have Wally. Wally's not sure if he wants to join them, but once he hears about his dad, he's like, okay, I'm going to join up. So you got something going on. It just doesn't feel big. It just doesn't feel like you need to be in an absolute universe to tell this story anyway. And it just doesn't feel, vital, but we'll see how it works out. But it is Rogue's Revenge Part 1. With Jeff Lemire writing, Nick Earlis on art and cover, John Lucas on colors, Tom Napolitano on letters. You get a plethora +8 of editors. You got Ash Padilla, Andrew Marino, Katie Kubert, and Chris Conroy, senior editor. A lot of things going on there.
Goodness gracious, that's a lot of editing going on,
exactly.
isn't it? I wonder what they're actually doing, though.
I don't know. They're just like, do what you want. I mean, one's getting coffee, the other's getting donuts, one's getting bagels. But yeah, so the whole thing in this is a play of, of the mind. Wally Speed, it's not Speed Force, but we still haven't been told exactly what it is what Lemire said. But this whole idea of, Barry and how he ended up kind of being like duped into joining up with Wally. And we find out in this issue that was Thawne's plan all along. It wasn't just, hey, this Wally kid seems like a good guy and he's bored and needs some guidance or whatever. It was that she was setting all this up. So that beginning, it's kind of a little confusing anyway. That red sphere Venus thing, but
it is weird, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like there, and it's like, do you know who Schwarzschild is, Wally? No, Dr. Allen. I told you, call me Barry. I'm like, let's get to it. Like, even that, it doesn't move quick enough, but he just talks about the idea that, he ended up having the first exact solution to Einstein's gravitational field. It's a little bit of mumbo jumbo, but it almost plays out as the idea of, Schwarzschild finding out this ultimate thing, but then went nuts and people don't remember him, things like that, about how Barry might be like almost like saying what happened with Barry.
It's horrific, Jim, isn't it? He talks about what happened to him. He got this crazy illness, Schwarzschild, a disease that ate away his skin. It's like, oh my God.
It was crazy. So you end up, there's that, and then they go.
So he's basically saying, there's a cost. The reason he's telling me there's a cost to everything. What is the cost going to be for Wally?
Sometimes I think it's also like the idea that some people end up where the cost is too much, and it's a shame because they actually could really have done big things, but Schwarzschild, he ends up dying, and it ate him away. But you end up where in the here and now you have Captain Cold's like, hey, so you want to be a rogue? And he's like, I don't know about that. And then in the meantime, you just end up with all this stuff like, oh my God, what just happened? I think I saw God. I'm like, I don't really, it's a weird opening, but you end up where he says, I'm not going with you, because because he's thinking back at this thing, or even of the mind, because he keeps switching and phasing in and out of different things. But he's like, I'm not going with you guys. You're the rogues. Boomerang's just a dick. Do this whole thing. He's like, forget that freaky little twerp cat. But they kind of want him.
We don't need him.
Complete the deal. He's like, screw this. They're like, no way, Digger. He's coming to us. We owe it to Rudy. And that's what turns the deal. Legit. You know what this is? This is almost like, why did you say Martha? When they start talking about how they have a connection to his dad and they need to save him, well, he just flip-flops immediately, which you would. They're there to save his dad. He wants to save the dad.
He's
so you
confused,
end
wasn't
up,
he, because he's like, wait a minute, didn't my dad send you? He thinks, that his dad was behind the rogues going to pick him up to catch him, but nope.
no.
Nope.
And
He finds
so
out it's not.
It's Thawne, and in the
It's all
meantime,
Thawne.
they have your dad. He may be dead. They're not even sure. They're like he's there. We got to go see this. Now you do see that Jesse kind of walks away, and it's kind of a cool play because she, even at the point when you first see her, like she looks like she's like sad almost, right? She's there with her head down or whatever, because I think that I'm sure that she doesn't necessarily want to end up, spoiler, that she ends up stabbing them all in the back a bit. But we'll see how that works out. But she's been kind of, on edge. And you even have, Glider, who ends up keep saying it to her, like, oh, you're jerking. And she's really cold. And she's like, oh, man, you're not even like human anymore. There's a lot of that comments, but there has been. They have been going back and forth. She does bring up the idea, like, you're half robot. You jerk. But in the meantime, Wally's only friend is Grodd. And he says, hey, Grodd, do you trust him? He's like, I just not lying. I'm like, okay, if Grodd can figure that out, yeah. So he's like, okay. And then says, Grodd and Wally, always be careful. And then, and it's nice. I mean, they're still kind of cute, but there's not much going on. So you end up where Jesse goes over to the side as they're all talking and like, oh, man, we're going to go and get your dad. We're going to kick some ass. It's going to be great. And then you end up, and I thought this was done pretty well, that you can tell the perspective of where she's from looking. And then you go to the laboratory with Thawne and Rudy, and you see that scene again through the guys because she's broadcasting it to Thawne, which just plays out. Now they know it.
Oh my God, Jesse, she's a spy, Jim.
Yeah, she's a spy. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool the way it's played out. Yeah, it's not just like, hey, she's a spy, whatever. We actually see it. And then you're like, oh, crap. But yeah, as they say, we're going to go and kick some ass. They know it.
We're going to take the fight to Thawne.
Yeah, we're going to take it to Thawne. We'll pretend
she knows,
of
course, now. She knows they're coming.
Yeah, because they're going to call and say, hey, listen, we got Wally. We're bringing him back with the whole plans of we're just going to kick some ass. But she knows. And then you get to the bit where Rudy's like, listen, he's just, a kid. And also, Thawne seems very upset at the fact that the rogues are loyal to Rudy. Like she says, they look at you as, the best thing. They're not loyal to me. They're loyal to you. So we're going to bring them down. He says, well, we've been through a lot together. We're like brothers and sisters. They were in wars together. And he says, that's just what it is. But he also says, you made them into weapons and now they're coming for you. And she's like, yeah, well. And she goes, let them come. I'm counting on it. Like, yeah, she doesn't care. She goes, the others will die, but your son is what we've been waiting for. And that's the other thing is she doesn't care about the rogues. If they die.
The way she says that, Jim, she's just like so dismissive, isn't that? The others will die. But, your son, we're going to keep your son.
And says, and like he said, it's
she's not like joking either, is she?
No. And then he says, like, what do you mean? Like, it's not like she's like, oh, we're going to save your son because he's so great and I like you. And it's like, no, we have plans for your son. And he's like, what do you mean? So the whole thing is just Barry's sacrifice won't be in vain. We have this ultimate goal. And then goes through this whole thing with Rudy of basically telling him everything to this point has been on plan, including Barry dying, Barry befriending your son, him getting affected. This is all what we were trying to do. And Rudy freaks out. Again, a lot of it just ends up, I don't really have many feels for it because I think when she says stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, I don't think it was on plan. Like, it didn't seem like that. But okay, you're going with it now. But as they go, I just like, Digger is just being a jerk and he just wants to blow stuff up.
I like the way was he sucking like on a lollipop?
A lollipop.
What do you call them in America?
A lollipop. That's what it is. It looks like one of those, what's it called with the gum in it? The blow pop is what it looks like. It is too. Is what it seems like he's doing.
Takes me back.
Yeah, so they're there and like, hey, and Dick or Captain Cold calls in and says, hey, tell Eleanor we got the kid, everything's going to plan, that we're going to go. And you end up where, hey, we're going to go this, we're going to don't look at this as a infiltrate and extract. We get out. Digger says, as long as I can blow shit up. They're like, fine. But that's where you end up where it's like Jesse can't help herself. Because you end up where they're like, oh, man, don't worry about your dad. Well, he's alive, tough as can be. And then Jesse goes, wishful thinking. And she's like, why would you say that? And he's like, what do you mean? Like, he's probably already dead. And she says, you're
saying
just
this
like,
in
you're
front
such a
of
jerk.
Wallace.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Wally.
what a bitch, Jim.
Yeah. And says, I think that helmets mess with your freaking head.
Yeah.
Which, that's all she swears. And says, well, you're half robot, hips down. They have some back and forth. But then this portal type thing opens again. That was what you ended up where Wally had seen before. Where
only he
stuff
can see
with
this,
Barry.
right? Because he's
Yeah.
asking them, like, do you see it? But there's no reaction from them, is there?
And that's what happened before. When they said to him, hey, you're going to join the Rogues, he was staring at the same kind of thing and thinking about Barry and going through that whole thing. So he still goes, do you guys see this? And they're like, well, what are you talking about? And he goes over. It's just so weird. But all these things have been very, very weird in this. So he goes over and goes to touch it. And it's like, again, it's like a singularity type thing where there's a bunch of hymns. And like, I saw myself. And he's getting all weirded out. And then boom. And then he's right back and says, hey, I saw myself. I saw me. And you end up where, Golden Glider's like, you got to sit down. You gotta sit down. This is crazy. And then all of a sudden he freaks out and he starts like multiplying, I don't know what exactly
he's repeating, isn't he? Like the lines he's just been saying. It's almost like, what is going on, Jim? Time is going
it's
weird.
It's a crazy deal. Yeah. And it has been that weird play. Like, remember when he went in the lab to see if Barry, of whatever, and he relived again Barry dying and all these things going. It's fine. I need more each issue. But he's like, what's going on? Do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see it? I see it. I saw myself. And you end up where Golden Glider says, you gotta sit down. You're going nuts. And then that's, again, he goes completely nuts.
He's screaming.
It's
he's
like
asking
he's
for Grodd's
fracturing,
help, isn't he?
right?
Make it stop.
Yeah.
Grodd, please.
Grodd's the one who does it. And Grodd knows what's happening because Grodd ends up says, Wally only here, Wally only now. And that does stop it for him. Again, I think he's phasing through time. He's like his body is kind of going through all this, and it does end up calming Wally down. So it's pretty good. Captain Cold's like, what the hell's going on back there? And Glider like, I wish I knew, bro. And then there's Digger again. Get your shit together. We're home. So they come in and they're like, and we know what's happening. This is the problem with this issue is that the jig is up. They know what's happening. So they come in, they're like, hey, and all of a sudden Jesse out of nowhere, which I don't know why you do it here. You could just wait until they land and do this. But she's like, hey, Thawne, asset secured. And ends up, but the thing is, at the beginning, you would think, oh, she's just doing this for play because that's the play. Even if they don't think she's stepping it back, they're going and pretending that they're doing it. But we know, obviously, it's not that. And that's where you end up where what you don't realize, but what she has done is put a force field around her and Wally so
just
that Thawne
yeah.
can blow up the jet. And that's what she does. It freaking blows up. But I
do like this page here, the panel progression, Jim, as you say, where, she's got him secure. She's like, okay, asset secured. Captain Cold turns around, Jesse, what are you? And then we see Thawne, goodbye, Captain. Boom. It's a classic moment.
Yeah,
it's really
good. Pretty good. And
it's the best part of the book.
The jet blows up and you're like, oh shit.
Oh shit. She just killed them all.
Look at the art. And first off, Jessie suddenly looks like she's like 80 feet tall. But also the art of Wally is so cartoony in that bubble. It's like crazy. But he's like, oh, no. But then you see Grodd saved them all. Maybe.
He saved the rest of them, yeah. And he made his own little force field or ball, hasn't he? It's pretty cool. So what's that little sketchy face on it, Jim, on Grodd's
I'm looking
ball?
at this too. Like, you tell me you got Jesse and Wally in that bubble, right?
Yeah.
Tell me who's in Grodd's bubble. There's somebody without a head.
I know.
And
they're
like
smoke coming out where the head should be.
Like they look like a hobo.
Yeah.
Right? And
who's that?
Who is it? Like it might be some crazy thing from everything that was happening to Wally as well. I don't know. I actually didn't even notice it when I first read it. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait a second. Almost like it's weird. If I look at it, the smoke on his head looks like a dog, but it looks like his head's been blown off. And I don't know who that is, and they're really in a shambles there. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see if there was some. I don't think there was anybody else, right?
No.
But yeah, and they're like, oh my God, the damn monkey. Like, that's who saved them. Grodd's in the middle. I like that construct thing that he has, too, with that face. But if it wasn't for him, but he's struggling. And they're like, oh my God. And Digger says, the monkey saved us. Oh my God. But then boom, it kind of breaks apart. That's when Boomerang throws his boomerang kites where everybody can grab it. You have Glider.
Where do they come from, Jim, by the way?
Yeah,
Any
he
idea?
must just end up summoning them. You do see on the bottom, you see Grodd on one of them, but they kind of say, like the way they say at the end, I'm afraid that Grodd ended up in big trouble. And that's where you end up where Lisa Glider, she sees the bubble with Jessie and Wally, and she's going to go after
She's
it,
going
though.
after them, yeah.
And she's like, I'm going to make this hurt. And the thing kind of breaks apart. Wally kind of breaks through it. So before
Jesse's
Lisa
trying
can
to
even
calm
do
him down,
anything,
saying,
really.
take it easy, Wally, we're almost there. And he's like, no, let me go. And he goes crazy and it explodes, this force field.
And then they fall down and, she tricks her. So she has a bunch of things. She's like, I got a couple tricks of my own. But that's when Lisa comes in, like, spears her. Like, actually comes in with a flying kick. It's crazy. And then the rest kind of glide down.
Shut up, Jesse.
And then I'm like, what happened to that guy in the crazy outfit? I don't know who that was. I hope somebody can tell us, because they don't really do anything or say anything about it.
No, you don't see him again. So whether that's going to show up in the next issue, I don't know.
Yeah, and the weird thing when it's like Grodd saved our asses, took it out of them, though. Usually it took a lot out of them, though. Like, it's almost like they're handing him a freaking dead Grodd, but I think he's fine.
I think he's just he's drained. He's zapped, isn't he?
Yeah,
used his power.
Yeah, so that's when you end up where Thawne then. It's a weird progression of her now saying, oh, and by the way, now she says, there's been a missing link. Your son's the missing link between my grandfather's work and all of Barry Allen's. Do you know that having Barry befriend your son was my idea? And Rudy's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, it doesn't fit well for me, because we didn't see enough of it. We just kind of saw it very quick.
We don't know why he's the key, do we?
Yeah, and I'm saying even about the, I had him befriend. I think Barry's, nice enough that he would have anyway, but says, oh, now Barry. Remember at one point we thought they were banging. But I told him the boy needed guidance. Yeah, and so he's like, oh, his altruistic nature, and they're going towards this gate. Like, and it kind of looks a little like what Wally's been seeing, but not quite. And like, oh, what are you doing? And he's like, I knew the process needed a sacrifice. It was meant to be Barry Allen. This is the thing. I knew the process would need a sacrifice. It was meant to be Barry Allen, but your son changed that. Now, the thing that gets me is you say that, but it's a weird thing to say because Barry died to get, like, you know what I mean? So I kept reading that. I'm like, wait a minute, did she say that is Barry? But it's this another thing that you now need Wally, and the idea of changing is because Barry died. But this gate, and he's the key to the gate. I'm guessing
it looks like a portal or a dimensional
I'm guessing
gate
it's a portal
to
the regular universe.
Yeah,
I think it's to get out of the absolute universe. That would be my guess, or something more to do with Darkseid or whatever. But I think it's a way out of this hellhole that is the absolute universe. And I don't know, maybe she's going to be like, I want to go, and maybe my father's alive there. My I don't know what she thinks or why she's doing it, but it could even just be a multi-dimensional portal. Maybe she could find an Earth that's better, or she'd be better. I don't know. We'd have to see. But the big thing is, it looks like you have to sacrifice Wally to open it. But I hope we find out more about it. But it was okay. You know what I mean? It had some cool things. The blowing up the thing, you actually do find when you had that absolute evil, Eleanor seemed like the least evil of all the people there, because we just saw her doing her experiments. And yeah, she seemed a little sus. At least this puts her up to the idea that she'll just kill anybody and makes her pretty evil. So I'm down with that. And the art's pretty good. So what would you give it?
Yeah, I do like the art in this. As you say, apart from some of the cartoony moments, sketches, but it looks good. It's a fast issue, Jim, isn't it?
Yeah,
you said that, going through it pretty quick. I like that big reveal of Jesse the spy, and then the betrayal. I don't know. I'm a 7.5.
Yeah, I'm a 7. So I'm a little lower than you. I'm still 7 though. It's
a lot better than it has been.
Yeah, it's weird. It's better, but I need more.
I want more too.
Really
I want more of the character work, more rogues.
I want to see Wally doing some Flash stuff.
Yeah, we've not really seen him do hardly anything apart from run away, escape.
And get upset and Grodd calm him down. I'd like to see Wally do more, way more. And I like the rogues, so I hope that they stay with Wally. I think that's pretty cool. And I even like it. It's a funny thing. you ended up having in the Absolute Batman, all the Rogues Gallery was friends. And then in here, you have the Rogues that are befriending Wally, and it's kind of that same play. But I think I like this a little more because they're cool. That those versions and whatever in the Absolute Batman, it's fine. It just, that wasn't the big reason why I liked it. I think the Rogues are one of the main reasons that I like this issue. So
the Batman Rogues have been turned into like horrific villains, aren't they? Like Snyder going full out horror on them. Oh my God.
Exactly. So
still can't get that penguin image out of the edge.
I know, it's crazy. We have that, I think, next week. So
yeah, we do.
With that all, I'm glad that I didn't hate it. So, and that's about the stellar praise I can give. And quite frankly, better than anything I read at Marvel this week. So it has that as well. But that
absolutely,
that's a low bar. Was that a pun, Brian?
Ooh, not really. It was accidental if it was.
Yeah, well, it's still good. You're supposed to lie and say it was. But yeah, that Marvel, that's some trouble. But so with all of that, that is it. Thank you for joining me, Gray. As always, we're going to get out of here with your AI song. But I will repeat again that if you had been enjoying the longer Big DC Comics podcast, it isn't on YouTube as of now, but it is still every week. We don't miss a week. It's always up on our podcast feed. All you have to do, you get any podcast player, look up Weird Science DC Comics, and you'll find it. And it's usually about 4 to 5 hours each week. So it's got some meat to it. So with all that, thank you, Gray, for joining me. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Before we go, though, Gray, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me. I'll just start singing then. Okay, on YouTube, occasionally doing some reviews. Wakizashi's Tea House.
Yeah, so check out Gray's channel. And with that, we'll get out of here. Thanks, everybody. And we'll talk to you later.
Ikuzo!
感動して感謝しました本当に大好きです私は普通の男ではありません私はもう本性の愛です私にからかわないでくださいそうしないとあなたは消えてしまいます私は普通の男ですでも私はあなたを殺しますだからそのまま受け取ってください足元に注意した方がいいよ準備をしてくださいフォローしないと大変なことになりますよ私に中途ララララビンバン私はあなたを殺します It doesn't matter 私は日本の愛です
Number 9
Bing bang!